Anybody interested in democracy has to disband Inec, prosecute and jail the Inec leaders, including the Inec chairman, Chuks Nwachukwu says. They will say he shouldn't say anything now, I'm telling you. Eh? They should say he shouldn't say anything. Why would he say that? Barrister Chuks Nwachukwu, a former presidential candidate of the All Grassroots Alliance, AGA, can you imagine, has called for urgent reforms in Nigeria's electoral system, criticizing the Independent National Electoral Commission for its role in flawed elections in an interview with Daily Independent. So Nwachukwu stated that INEC's current leadership lacks credibility and has failed to uphold democratic principles, and suggested dissolving the organization, prosecuting its leaders, and replacing them with individuals capable of restoring trust in the electoral process is what is desired. So he outlined the importance of credible elections in sustaining democracy. According to him, even those who rig elections typically try to maintain the appearance of fairness. However, he argued that recent electoral processes in the country, in Nigeria, have been so compromised that they risk eroding public trust entirely. That's what this one is saying. So the former candidate stressed that urgent action is needed to prevent further damage to Nigeria's democracy, and argued that a structured INEC led by individuals with integrity could ensure elections that reflect the will of the people. So anybody interested in democracy has to disband INEC. He has to dissolve the organization, send the leaders home, prosecute and jail them to restore sanity. If I were Mahmoud Yakubu, I would have resigned immediately after the presidential election. I will know that my being there is incompatible with any good image for that organization and credibility of the elections. Can you imagine? So elections must have credibility. Even people who want to rig elections try to rig in a manner that will not destroy the credibility of the process. They are rather subtitled in the rigging. Can you imagine? So because when the credibility of a process is destroyed, then it will turn to a free for all. People will go there. It will be like one village meeting. Okay, chairs may start flying and everybody will go home and bring out his machete and stick. It is eventually where it will lead to, he said. Okay, so what I'm saying is that INEC will soon get disorganized and the internal royal rumble will start. That will escalate into the external as well. So the question is, do you think Tinubu's government will dissolve this INEC? Because they're going to use the INEC chairman for rigging 2027 election the way they used him to rig 2023 election. So they won't dissolve him. They won't dissolve the INEC, and they won't disband the leaders, and they won't prosecute Mahmoud Yakubu simply because he's doing their bidding. So he's the best candidate for now. So this advice that Nwachukwu is giving here will only work if the government is governed by people who really want the progress of the country and the welfare of the people to be good. Otherwise, nobody will. They won't do that because INEC is doing their bidding. If you look at the way Tinubu has set up his cabinet and his political appointments so far, he has actually put everybody, in each critical position, to strategize for 2027. If we could do some of these things and win an election in 2023 without, rigging and having support of so many and sharing money, there's nothing he would have done. So now, that guy, obviously, Tinubu will definitely not do anything to dissolve the INEC. It's not going anywhere. That is it. It is a tool in the hand of the incumbent. All right. And another comment section here, they will blast the man because he's an Igbo man speaking, so they will tell him to go and sit down. As obviously, just because an Igbo man lost the 2023 presidential election, yet the same man did not raise eyebrow when Obi got the statistical impossibility of scoring 98 to 99% of the votes cast in the Southeast. Okay, he did not question how 2 million people, although alike, okay, preferred the same candidate, voted the same candidate, and rooted for one candidate. So in a democratic multi-party election system, INEC and its chairman staff are just umpires collating results received from across the 37 states. Okay. Obi came a distant third place, and he is not the first to lose in an election. They don't turn an Igbo thing. I'm telling you, anybody that speaks the truth and his name is like Igbo, they will turn it. Something says Sabo, that's you. Not very Sabo, terrorist not. So Sabo means a saboteur. So you are a Sabo. Also, you are just this, okay, sorting themselves. So, since 2023, it is only presidential election INEC conducted. Which of the election has INEC done well? Allow Yakubu to defend himself. Sabo Buka name was not mentioned here. Can you imagine? That's Sabo Habubaka. And also, who caused you to confirm your animal statistics on social media? What happened to the concept of different perspectives? Does this one even deserve a reply? Can you imagine Wachiku say he doesn't need a reply, Abi? But he has said what he wanted to say anyway. So that is what we see there. Barrister Wachiku is now saying that INEC chairman must be sacked and prosecuted. INEC body must be dissolved and replaced with credible people to run a free and fair election. The question is, will Tinubu not do that? Tinubu is already doing that restructuring, but with selfish plans. So that is it. Thank you for listening. Let's have your comment as the call for sacking of INEC chairman continue to mount.